Yeah, pause YouTube. SixftHax here. What's going on, everybody? This is going to be our first power rankings of UCL Season 3 for week number 1. Now, before I continue further into the video, I want to state this fact right now, and I want it to be known that these videos are not going to be meant to make the UCL more serious than it is. Essentially, like, this season is more about fun and it's more laid back. But the reason why I want to do power rankings is because I've been interested in power ranking work before, and it's kind of something I wouldn't mind doing in the future. So I figured that this season would be kind of a good little experiment for me to kind of see how I do with power rankings. So please don't take any of my rankings to heart, or don't take anything too seriously. Please don't think I'm trying to bash the coaches or talk bad about the coaches or anything like that. So yeah, I just felt the need to say that because somebody did actually bring up the fact in my draft power rankings that these type of videos might make the season seem a little more serious than it actually is, and I don't want that to be the case at all, because I want to do these for fun. I myself am excited for UCL. I'm excited to watch all the matches and see how the coaches play. So that's another reason why I want to do this. So yeah, just as soon as you watch these, don't take anything too seriously. Don't take anything to heart. It's not meant to be seriously serious, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at. So regardless though, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer arm that thumbs up button down below and let me know in the comment section below what was your favorite match of this week 1, or let me know what your power rankings are for the first week of UCL. Me personally, I think my favorite match was Nexus versus Shady. I don't want to spoil anything, but that match was absolutely insane, man. I did not expect what happened at the end. So yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite match of the season was, or not the season, sorry, of what week 1 was, or let me know what your power rankings would be in the comment section below. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So at number 8, I have Mr. J, coach of the Carolina Keldios. Now, the main reason why I have J here at number 8 is because while I feel like Jay kind of played his match pretty well, Jay was kind of in control for most of the game, but I really feel like he kind of fell off once he missed the fire blast. He kind of just let it affect him too much, essentially. And plus, the build that he brought, I think, was a little bit too passive against PK. PK's team, while it may not be the best team in the draft, or in this league I should say, it has so much offense, and while Jay's team was very, very bulky, it was not able to deal with PK's offense, essentially. Also, I found it really odd that he went for Swords Dance on a Registeel when PK still had a full HP, or almost full HP Landers in the back, and after Intimidate it's only +1, and there's absolutely no way that Mega Beedrill hits Landers for super effective damage. So that's kind of something else I felt was really questionable from Jay's part. It did suck though that he missed the Fire Blast. I'm not gonna lie, that Fire Blast missing meant that Blacephalon had to take an extra hit that it potentially didn't need to take. And another thing too, and something I found a little bit funny, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but I found it funny when he went for Shadow Ball on the Rotom Wash, and it switched in, and he was like, oh, that did nothing. And then he proceeded to think, oh, is it offensive? Is it scarfed? When I think it was pretty clear that it was just specially defensive. Then again, it is the first week of the league, and I definitely feel like Jay kind of felt the week 1 jitters. He got really nervous week 1, and it kind of seemed all over the place. Didn't really seem like he had a game plan, essentially, after the first third of the game, essentially, and he was just kind of going with the flow, trying to find something to do. And trust me, I've been there. I've been absolutely destroyed week 1 of certain leagues, and I've been able to bounce back and get back into the groove. So I definitely understand him if he was kind of really nervous or just got the jitters for week 1, essentially. Trust me, I know exactly how it feels. I've been absolutely destroyed in week 1 battles before. So hopefully he will be able to kind of bounce back later in the season. But as I said, like I really felt like his prep wasn't the best in this match. Like I felt like he relied too much on his bulk, and then definitely him missing that fire blast kind of put him in a bit of a bad mindset. But knowing Jay, if he can just kind of like get the hang of things again and he doesn't get as nervous or as anxious, he'll definitely be able to bounce back. So I definitely do expect good things from Jay still in this season. So moving on to our rank number 7 team here. We have Twit, coach of the Grand Canyon Greninjas, Mr. Good old Twit, that dude with the fro though. And the reason, okay, so Twit was almost gonna be my number 6, but after watching his battle, I did watch all the battles by the way. So after watching his battle and watching who originally was gonna be my number 7, I decided to put Twit at number 7 because even though I don't think Twit played this match badly, I really feel like he didn't have a game plan. He also made some kind of questionable plays in my opinion. Like the earth power on the Vikavolt, I really don't think he should have earth power there. Like I honestly think he lost absolutely nothing and just going straight for the ice beam, because the thing about Kieran Black, and this is what I hope Twit kind of learns throughout the season, is that Kieran Black is a breaker. Kieran Black comes in, you click a move, Kieran Black's dual stab, along with whatever coverage it runs and it learns, essentially, it basically OKOs, 2-hit KOs, or 3-hit KOs everything. So essentially, it's going to come in, it's going to absolutely dent something guaranteed, or it's going to get a KO regardless. So I really feel like in the scenario when it was Kieran versus Vikavolt, I honestly think he should have just gone straight for the ice beam, because whatever Nappy could have potentially switched in was going to take still decent damage from the ice beam, and then he would have been able to potentially follow it up with a coverage move, or he would have been able to pivot something out, and then late game, if he had been able to get up the tailwind with his Tornadus, then Kieran Black might have been able to come in and clean up. Because it came down to the very end, and I'm not gonna lie, I really thought Twit was gonna win there with the Scarfed Infernape. Like if he had been able to try and force in Hoopa somehow, or if he just had something in the back to get off a little bit of damage on Hoopa, I think that Twit might have actually been able to win with Infernape at the end. Also, he said that he ended up misclicking near the end of the match with his Infernape by switching it in on the Crobat, and I don't think that really changed too much in the long run of the match. But while I don't think Twit played the match bad, I still feel like he might have been able to play it just a little bit better. And if he can just kind of like find the groove and just see Kieran Black as being able to come in, absolutely nuke something for the rest of his team to take advantage, then I think he'll definitely be able to bounce back with this squad, because he does have a really good squad, like a very powerful squad that can could definitely carry him to playoffs, in my opinion, honestly. So I'm hoping that Twit will learn his mons, or learn about his mons a little bit more as the season goes. And then once he gets a better understanding of those mons and what exactly they do, he's definitely going to be able to put in some work. Moving on to our rank number 6 squad here, we have Sacred Fire Negro, coach of the Chicago Buffalons. Now, why I put Nick above Twit, as I said, like they were really neck and neck, I think, for number 7. But the reason why I put Nick just a little bit higher was because at least Nick had some type of game plan going into his match against Mo, as where Twit, I felt, didn't necessarily really have a game plan going into it. And I always feel like it's a good idea to have some type of idea, some type of planning, some type of thought process of like how you want to try and win, so you can figure out like what you need to do, what you need to get rid of, what opportunities you need to try to take advantage of. And that's where I think Nick kind of peaked above Twit just a little bit there, because first off, the dual screens offense I thought was very odd. I don't want to say it was bad, but Mo has like 5 or 6 defoggers, so dual screens offense, or what should have been dual screens offense, was kind of odd in my opinion, because the way that Nick played, I don't see, when you bring dual screens offense, you need to follow that. Like offense is in the title. You need to be aggressive. You need to bring in your mons to set up, take advantage of them, so you have one final threat in the back to come in and then end up cleaning up the entire match. And I've been in Nick's scenario before where I've brought dual screens and I didn't follow the offensive portion of that. I've been in scenarios where I brought dual screens and I play passively, I play defensively, and then my screens just run out and I'm like, what do I do now? And that's where I feel like Nick kind of messed up. Also, he did forget the Mega Stone, but the amount of damage that Thunderbolt did to Milotic, even if he was Mega Latios, it wouldn't have knocked out Milotic, and Milotic still would have been able to hang around near the end of the match or later in the match to gain back recovery with its recover move. So I don't think that really ended up affecting the matchup too much in the long run, honestly. What I don't understand is why he decided to bring defensive Celesteela. Like, don't get me wrong, Celesteela easily top 3 best mons in draft format, but if you're gonna bring a Leech Seed subset, it's a set that doesn't need dual screens. Like, it's already very bulky, it's already gonna eat hits. So it showed that Mo was struggling to deal with Celesteela. Like, if you watch the match from Mo's perspective, you know he's trying to find some way to beat it down. He's trying to find some way to deal with the threat, and his best option I think was like Zap Sipper Milk Tank, which is kind of smart. I'm not gonna knock him. That was a good bring on Mo's part there. But if he had brought offensive Celesteela instead of defensive Celesteela, I honestly think that would have helped him out way more in this match, because all he really needed to do was just wear down the Charizard and wear down the Milotic, and then Celesteela would have been able to come in, or at least early game been able to potentially break down Mo's squad so the rest of his offense could come in. And then because he had dual screen Manaphy, it just kind of made Manaphy useless in this match. It was only able to come in, get up screens once or twice, and just basically U-turn out and be kind of useless. And then Zardex just came in, Dragon Danced, and it was basically a good game. So I feel like when it comes to the building, Mo definitely had the better build, and I don't think Nick's idea really panned out, obviously, as he wanted it to. So hopefully his building will be better as the weeks go along, because if he can get that build properly, I think he will be able to kind of show that he's more intact with the draft league metagame, if you guys get what I'm trying to say. Like, he'll definitely be able to show that he knows what he's doing. Like, prepping is only half of the battle when it comes to draft league. Like, it's prepping and building, they kind of go hand in hand. Like, you can do good with one but bad with the other, and you're gonna notice that, and vice versa, essentially. So yeah, really hoping that Nick bounces back week 2 though, so we'll see how things go. Moving on to our rank number 5 squad here, we have Shady, coach of the New York Yankees. Now, as I said, Shady and Nexus had an absolutely crazy match here. So I do want to give very big credits to Shady, man. Agility, Metagross, that thing was a very smart bring on Shady's part. That is something that I definitely did not consider, and it was able to shine against Nexus. I think if he did put the Meteor Mash on Metagross, he honestly would have been able to just straight sweep with Metagross there, like mid-game, and just basically end the match on that. Unfortunately, Shady did fall victim to hacks, and trust me, I know how upsetting, how annoying, potentially infuriating it can be. I've lost finals matches in leagues because of hacks, and it's honestly so annoying. But that's the kind of great thing about week 1 though. Like, it's only 1 week. For all we know, Shady could very well win out the rest of his season and make it all the way to finals. Like, he played this match pretty well. I only have a little bit of criticism on the play that he did with leaving in Alamomola on Nexus's Tapu Koko. I can understand that, because obviously he had a very Spadef bulky Nidoqueen in the back, and if I was in his position, I don't think I would have risked that personally, just because Nidoqueen is already such a perfect switching to Tapu Koko, and I think at that moment he had already toxic the Tapu Koko. So I really think he didn't lose anything in just hard switching directly into Nidoqueen. And if he had been able to save the Alomomola for later in the match, he would have been able to maybe pass off a wish to the Metagross, and then it might have very well swept, or he could have potentially got off a toxic on the Uxie with the Alomomola, and that in itself really would have helped, because it was evident when Uxie was brought in on Metagross, even though Metagross was at +2 speed, Shady didn't have a way to hit it for very good stab damage. I think his best move might have been like Ice Punch, he mentioned. So if he had been able to toxic that Uxie with the Alomomola later in the match, it would have opened up another hole where Metagross could have just come in and basically gone to town after going for the rock polish there. Also, the Wakanberry Tornadus was a very smart bring in my opinion, because he was able to cover the Tapu Koko. Unfortunately though, I don't think he had a way of hitting Tapu Koko for super effective damage. For me, when it comes to weakening berries, I feel like if you're going to have it on the Pokemon, you want to have that Pokemon have some type of a super effective move to hit the opposing Pokemon that they're going to get hit by a super effective move from. So even though he did have like Icy Wind, I think he had Knockoff as well, and he showed Deflog if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he did actually have a super effective move for the Koko, but near the end of the match, at the very last turn of the game, Koko was low enough to where he would have been able to knock him out with an Icy Wind, or Icy Wind would have put him in range of Toxic. So yeah, unfortunately Shady did fall victim to Hax, but I definitely think he played this match better than how Twit, Nick, and Jay played their matches essentially. So yeah, again, as I said, like for all we know, Shady could bounce back, go undefeated, and win the season. So really excited to see what Shady is going to be able to do for the rest of the season. So moving on to our rank number 4 squad here, we got the person that Shady ended up playing against, and that is going to be my buddy Nexus. Now Nexus. Okay, I thought that Nexus played this match well. Like both Shady and Nexus played this match almost flawlessly up until the end game. So obviously Nexus got caught off guard by Shady's agility Metagross, and again, as I said, like I did not consider that at all, and it was very clear that Nexus didn't consider that at all either. So again, that was a really good bring on Shady's part there, and Nexus I still think played the match relatively well. Like Victini was an absolute terror for Shady's squad. He was able to bring it in aggressively. I think that he might have been able to bring in Megalop a little bit earlier in the match than he actually did. I think he brought it in like kind of mid-game-ish, but he could have been able to bring it in sooner and just try to apply some more offensive pressure with the Megalop there. But the biggest thing I have to say about this match is just the end game, man. When it was the Heligo and Tapu Koko against the Tornadus, I really think that he should have sacked off Tapu Koko, because by sacking off Tapu Koko, he then brings in the Heligo with Power Gem. Power Gem could have knocked out Tornadus in one hit. At that point, I think it was kind of obvious that he didn't have a way of hitting the Heligo, because if Shady had something like HP Ground, he definitely would have gone for it instead of going for the Icy Wind. So what Nexus could have done was switch in the Tapu Koko, scout out to see what Tornadus wanted to do, and then from there sacked off Koko and then brought in the Heligo and gone for the Power Gem, and then he wouldn't have had to have won because of the Thunderbolt para into a full para on the same turn, which I think is actually just so dumb. Not the fact that it happened, but the fact that that's even a thing, that you not only can get paralyzed, but then you can also get fully paralyzed. Like that seems so annoying in my opinion. So I mean, Nexus did what he had to do. Nexus ended up winning because of the hacks, and again, it's part of the game. It's the dark side of Pokemon, and it's something that people are going to get upset by. It's something that people are going to get frustrated with, but at the end of the day, you need to sit down and realize hacks is a part of Pokemon. If you're going to play this game, if you're going to watch people play this game, you need to always keep in mind that hacks can happen. I'm very unlucky. There are some matches where I do get lucky. I've won games because of hacks. I've lost games because of hacks. And this was a match where Nexus won because of the hacks. But at the same time, he got rewarded for not essentially making the best play that he could have made. So that's why I didn't think that Nexus played better than our numbers 1, 2, and 3, because if Nexus had lost, I think he definitely would have been under Shady. Like, Shady would definitely, probably, honestly, Shady, if Shady had won, I think he would be up to like number 3, maybe number 2, honestly. But again, just the fact that Nexus was able to pull out the victory there kind of kept Shady a little bit below what Nexus did. Honestly, I kind of thought about putting Shady above Nexus, but while they both played well, they both prepped well, in the end, a win is better than a loss. So that's why I kind of just put Nexus a little bit above him there. I think some people are going to be a little bit upset about this, but like, just let me know why. Don't just kind of flame me in the comments. Like, let me hear your reasoning. Like, I would like to see what you guys have to say about this certain ranking, because honestly, it's like 49% Shady and then like 51 Nexus. Like, that's how close it just about was, I think, honestly. But enough about that. Let's move on to our top 3 here. So moving on to our third ranked squad, we got good old PK, Mr. Dat Hotness, coach of the Philadelphia Alligators. Now, I want to say right now, I was 110% impressed by PK. I honestly think PK, even though the match might have looked like it was more in Jay's favor, I really think PK was just in control of most of this battle. Like, PK's prep was pretty almost on point, I honestly think. Like, PK definitely played this match very well, when I thought that PK was gonna just like get tossed. And I'm not even joking, but like, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm so impressed by how well PK played. Like, I would honestly love to see PK just go to the finals and win it all, man. If I had to pick a dark horse in this match right now after week 1, PK would definitely have my money, because PK played this match very well. At the same time though, again, it was kind of evident that Jay had the week 1 nerves. He was a little bit all over the place. He was a little bit jittery. So that definitely played in PK's favor. And then the Fire Blast miss on the Blacephalon really did suck. I don't know if it would have been a guaranteed OHKO. It might have been a damage roll, maybe, possibly maybe, depending on just how bulky the AV Rotom Wash was. And if he had lived, then I don't think anything would have changed. But if he had hit, he had knocked him out, I definitely do think PK would have had a bit of a difficult time in this match. And one little nitpick I want to say is substitute Mega Manectric seemed a little bit odd in my opinion. Like, I've never seen that. I don't really understand why he had that. I'm guessing he was thinking that by having sub, he could force switch outs, and then that way Mega Manectric would be behind a sub. And I don't know. I mean, I guess that's not that bad, but like, the only way that would typically work is if Mega Manectric is behind a sub and whatever comes in, he can outspeed and KO, and then that way his sub still stays up. So yeah. Also, the especially offensive Landorus, I don't think made a lot of sense. I don't really understand the extra sensory. Like, I don't think that would have knocked out Mega B in one hit regardless. But I get it worked out for him. Also, how he played around scouting out for the Garchomp potentially having HP Ice, that was brilliant, honestly. I would have never thought PK would have taken the chance to like scout out for HP Ice from Garchomp for his Landorus. So again, just another really big kudos to PK. Honestly, man, if PK continues to play like this and he knows how to identify his threats, he knows what he needs to do, I really believe like PK could be a dark horse throughout this season and end up making playoffs, man. Like, if you guys want to see something kind of impressive, like, I really think PK showed off basically in week 1 of UCL season 3. So definitely check out PK's match, guys. He played his game very, very well in my opinion. So moving on to our second ranked squad here, we got the Heated Mo, coach of the Toronto Toga Kids. So why I got Mo here at second place is because it was very evident that Mo was never bothered by anything that Nick did. Nick was able to bring some odd building in dual screens, and I honestly thought that the dual screens from Nick would throw Mo off of his game and that Mo wouldn't know what to do. But no, Mo kept his cool. Mo played logically. Mo did everything he needed to do in order to pull out a victory this match. He was able to deal with just about everything and anything that Nick was able to throw at him, and that is a part of good prep. Good prep allows you to always deal with anything and potentially everything that your opponent could bring, and this match was a very, very good example of that. Mo was not bothered by anything that Nick did. Mo stayed calm, he stayed focused, he was able to read what Nick was going to do, he was able to take advantage of what Nick was going to do, and eventually bring in Zardax, Dragon Dance 5 times I think, and basically just pull out the victory. So yeah, I don't really have like anything bad to say, or I don't want to say bad or like anything like negative, like some kind of like nitpicking. Actually, I do have one thing. I like the fact that he did bring Zap Sipper Milk Tank for the Celesteela, but I think if he was going to rely on it trying to beat Celesteela, he probably could have had a bit more offense invested in Milk Tank, because a Fire Punch was not able to break Celesteela's sub. And I was watching the match and I thought that, okay, Celesteela is basically going to sit here and beat Mo 1v1. Like, there's literally nothing Mo can do to the Celesteela because he wasn't able to break through it. So outside of him really struggling, I guess, with Celesteela, which even then, like, it's just him struggling with Celesteela, but even at that moment in the match, or at that time in the match, he was still able to play around it, find some way around it, and just ended up winning with Dragon Dance Charizard. So yeah, like, outside of him kind of struggling with Celesteela and him maybe having a bit more of EVs in his offense for Milk Tank, like, there's really nothing else I have to say about Mo. So kudos to Mo. Very, very good match here. Would definitely recommend you guys checking out this match as well. So moving on to our number rank 1 squad, I wonder who it could possibly be, and that is going to be Mr. The King Nappy Boy 92, coach of the Tucson Terrakions. I was just mispronouncing it. But yeah, we got good old Nappy here at number 1. And the reason why I got Nappy at number 1 here is because I honestly think he had the most, I don't want to say dominant victory, but like the most smoothest victory, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, if you watch Nappy's side of him versus Twit, he literally was not worried about anything. There was nothing that Twit had that really had Nappy worried, except for Scarfed Inferno. But after he checked the calc, he knew that Hoopa lived a Scarfed Flare Blitz, so once that was calculated, he literally had no worries throughout the entire match. Nappy was able to keep a calm head, he was focused. There was like little to no hacks this entire match, except for like maybe some Hurricane confusions, which again, back to Twit real quick, I think it was a smart idea that he brought the wide glasses on Tornadoes, because that 7% for Hurricane could definitely come in handy there. But yeah, Nappy like legitimately did not struggle whatsoever this match. And like the one kind of apparent struggle was, is Scarf Flare Blitz gonna knock out Hoopa? No, let me calculate. Oh, it doesn't. I win. So yeah, like there was like legitimately nothing that Nappy, I think, did wrong in this match. I don't think he struggled at all, honestly. And if he keeps this up, if he's able to play like this every single week, I would bet money, I would definitely say that Nappy could very well go undefeated throughout the rest of the season, just by how good he honestly played this week 1 match. like much like Mo, like I'm trying to figure out like something that maybe Nappy did incorrectly, or like that he could have done better, but I really don't know, man. Like he played the match relatively well. He knew when to be offensive, he knew when to be defensive, he knew when to switch. Like he was able to read Twit very well, and then the prep that he had was also very beneficial to him. So that's why I think Nappy is deserving of being number 1 for week 1 of UCL season 3. So yeah, guys, I will be trying to do these every single week. So please, if you did enjoy, make sure to hammer arm that thumbs up button down below. Let me know in the comment section below what was either your favorite match of week 1 or what your power rankings are going to be. Are they similar to mine? Are they different? Let me know your reasonings as well if you want to. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. With that being said, if you want to see my draft power rankings, which is based off of the teams, not the skills, then a link to that will be down in the description and at the very end of the video. So with all that out the way, thank you all for watching, guys. I will see you all next week, definitely, and later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks, hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks.